Alright, so spawning over here, ladies and gents, in the top left-hand corner as the Red Terran, also known as the Infested Terran, a player famous for being very competitive and very successful, including race switching in certain matchups. He now plays Terran full-time and represents Team Property. He's Morrow. His opponent spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the Blue Zerg, playing for Team Darkstar. Ladies and gentlemen, one of their core founding members, an extremely strong player. Can he bring it tomorrow, though? It's Prospect. Alright, so good old TVZ, possibly my favorite matchup to watch in StarCraft. The more TVZ and TVP I like very, very much. And that's not just because I play Terran. You just get a lot of nice dynamic games with attacks happening in multiple locations. A lot to follow. It can be really exciting. Of course, all their matchups have their day. We had our lovely Wings of Liberty ZVZ and ZVPs for a while. PVZ still very, very exciting as well, come to think of it. And yeah, I'm hoping for a great series here between these two players. They are, of course, playing for a spot in the finals, November 21st and 22nd, ladies and gentlemen. And these are going to be the top 16 players from the entire Nordic region, battling it out for a €3,000 prize pool, in addition to goodies as well. So many thanks to HitboxDoc, TV, and Cooler Master for helping us bring these, in addition to the local teams in all of the Nordic countries that have been helping set up and admin this tournament as well. Without them, this basically wouldn't be possible. So great to have them as boots on the ground. Now, got the barracks coming down after the command center, it has to be said, from Morrow. And he's going to be following it up with a gas straight after that as well. So not going for what some Terrans prefer, of 2 barracks very, very quickly once the command center goes down. And this Overlord is going to be able to scout the CC has gone down first, and he's going to just double check that the barracks is going down. He won't be able to see the gas just yet, but I'm sure he'll get there eventually. And are we going to see 50 gas mined by the time this barracks completes? It looks like we should just about be able to, by the looks of things. Prospect, in the meantime, has Zergling speed, by the way, finished. And he's got this hatchery birthing the queen at the moment and just continuing to make drones. So nothing too out of the ordinary. Sorry, just popped rather. So we should be seeing that very, very soon from him as he reaches 100 gas from him as well. And we are actually going to have a Marine before anything else pop over here from Morrow. The Overlord has not scouted the gas yet. So he's also up to 100 gas. So I think we could just be seeing a factory straight up follow-up here. And we have the bunker now going down, wanting to prevent any sort of early attacks. There is the Zergling speed from Prospect. And Morrow just wanting to play this pretty safe. Factory going down next to the barracks here. Got a little bit of a gap here, but that's because we're waiting for this add-on that is likely to be added down in just a second. There we go. The reactor immediately going down on the barracks. So we should be seeing a swap-a-rooney here, guys. And then we'll be having some Hellions pop out in the early game for our Terran player. But let's take a look at what's going on the Zerg side of the world. Prospect still hasn't scouted any of the gas, but has at least seen the factory, so he knows that it's been taken. So that should be fine now. He's continuing to drone up as much as possible right now. We can see he's actually up to 30 workers versus 26, and more are on the way. So he's going to be able to get that nice healthy economy, and then he's going to have to start thinking about creep spread, making sure he can defend early on against potential Hellion run-bys and other things like that. Zergling speed is definitely going to help out with that. And it's about to finish in just a couple of in-game seconds here, as Morrow starts his 3rd command center. So he's going for a very, very eco-centric build here. In game number 1, not being afraid. In fact, I don't think his first 2 Hellions, do we even have 2 Hellions on the field? We don't. Those are the first 2, and 3rd CC already 3/4 of the way done at the 6-minute mark. So this is very economic coming out of our Terran player here, and I think he's trying to take as much advantage as possible out of the fact that, he needs to be careful with those Zerglings there. Wants to be able to scout as much as he can. Won't see 3rd CC at the low ground, of course, because it's at the natural, but trying to take advantage of not very much scouting, frankly, done by Prospect so far. He has no idea what his opponent's plans are. until these Lings basically end up committing to going up the ramp, killing off a couple of them potentially in exchange for some nice scouting information, which is the command center is part of this wall off. And it looks like these two Lings are going to be able to do just that. They go to the third command center, sees nothing. Are they going to go up to the natural expansion though? Doesn't look like they see anything just yet, and we have, wow, 4 queens on the edge of creep here saying, you know what guys, I don't think you're going to be able to do very much here. They are going to see the third base and spot that there were no drones here at the moment. We've got a Baneling nest as well on the way as a follow-up here, and potentially for defense from Prospect, so we might be able to use these to sneak into the natural at some point in the future. The third orbital command has now come down for Morrow, and he's starting +1/+1 and stim as well. So really he's just looking to limit creep spread and try and get as much damage done as he can. Potentially, I guess, can go into Hellbats a little bit later on. Very, very strong kind of pushes that are going in there. But right now, I have to be said, to be perfectly honest, this creep spread is not being limited very much by these Hellions. The Queen seems to have free reign at the moment. Oh, nice cancel there on the creep tumor, allowing that to spread it another day. And yeah, the Queen's actually just able to spread to their heart's content. +1 melee going down now for our Zerg player as the starport gets underway for Mar, in addition to more barracks. So he's not going to be going for any sort of mech build, guys. Just the one factory here. That guy's job is going to be constantly produce add-ons for the barracks by the looks of things at this point. And he's going to be able to get up to a very, very strong bio composition. But in the meantime, it has to be said, there are 3 bases here for Prospect, and he's just comfortably droning up. I mean, there's not really anything that's bugging him at this point in the game. No pun intended. We've got a couple of Marines here. We'll be able to take out this Overlord as he spots, wow, that's an awful lot of barracks coming down, dude. And will he see? He still hasn't actually seen the third command center, but it is actually landed and starting to mine now as well. And he's going to go ahead and take his 4th too. So a very passive game from both players right now. Very, very economy-centric, especially from Morrow here. And Prospect at the moment, perhaps not scouting as much as we otherwise would have liked him to. But to be honest, with this many buildings with add-ons, you have to be thinking to yourself, right, the third base definitely is up in mining now. And that has to have been the trigger for him to take the 4th. I like the fact as well that he's kept a unit at this watchtower, always useful, especially if drops come in a little bit early off the side of the map. It's just great to be able to spot those early, because otherwise they just get into positions like this, or maybe even here with a siege tank or something. And it's just really, really frustrating to deal with. So behind this, he's got the Spire on the way now for him as well. The 1-1 for his Zergling melee, as well as that armor upgrade. They're going to be completing at some point in the next 45 in-game seconds. It doesn't look like there's this massive attack coming in from Morrow in the near future, though, so I shouldn't worry too much about that. What I am potentially worried about for him, though, is the fact that this armory is just completed. It means that we have the option for a lot of these units to become Hellbats very quickly, and while these Hellions didn't do that much damage, didn't actually avoid, didn't stop the creep being spread very much at all and stuff like that, he is going to be able to push out with an incredibly strong timing thanks to these Hellbats. Now, to Prospect's credit, his creep spread has been good, and he's going to be able to spot this coming from a million miles away, which is great. But spotting the attack coming and getting rid of it are 2 very, very different things. You can see a lot of Marines, and they do have stim, I believe, coming out. There we go. If you wanted proof, there it is. Stim to kill the creep tumor, guys. It's the standard Terran technique. We've seen this from a lot of people here, but the medevacs are going to make that okay. You've got Widow Mines out here as well with the army. And once these guys become Hellbats, it's going to be a very, very strong push towards a 4th base location. Note that we've got the Mutilist transition coming in, but we do not have Roaches on the field. We're just constantly using Lings and Banelings, and this potentially could be a problem here. Using the Hellions and increased maneuverability to maybe kite the Banelings could be an idea, but he is in fact going to be making all of them into Hellbats. The Widow Mine as well is part of this, and it looks like we're going to be rolling in the first Widow Mine, actually getting a fantastic hit off on the Banelings and a decent amount on the Mutas as well. But a lot of this army has actually also been taken out from Morrow's perspective, so we're going to be seeing a round 2 very, very shortly indeed. Prospect wants to just morph enough Banelings so that he can absolutely overrun this right now. Both Widow Mines are currently on cooldown, so Morrow needs to be careful. I don't think he has the army size right now to completely take this out anymore. And here we go. The first lot of Lings coming in. I'm surprised they're not going in behind the bio army. Basically not participating at the moment. He's only coming in with small clumps of units, and more reinforcement coming out across the map. Here come the Banelings as well, and they're just going to be crashing through by the looks of things. He's had enough of this. Banelings going through the splits. Good, but not necessarily good enough to completely wipe this out. A good Widow Mine hit, actually, taking out the Overseer as well. And we're back to a position where, yes, a lot of the army from Prospect has gone down, but also bear in mind at the same time, as Mutas managed to pick off a drop over here, that well, the base hasn't gone down just yet. They're mainly Lings right now, but, you know, this is actually a sizable number of Lings, and I think they really should be engaging to try and delay the amount of damage that could be done to this expansion as much as possible. Here come the Mutas as well, and I think with the Mutalisk in tow, when these Banelings morph in, Prospect should be able to move this out. I'm surprised he's morphing in the Banelings and then running in with the Mutalisk. I thought he would have wanted to do that at the same time with everything. Losing a couple of Mutas, but picking off Medevac, and once again, keeping Morrow just a little bit at bay. Now, behind this, he's got the quick drilling for the Widow Mines here. I really like this upgrade, and 2-2 for the Marines is on the way. So this attack is going to get stronger with time. The timings in the defense from Prospect, though, at the moment haven't been the best. He's managed to keep this base alive, but I would have liked to see him rolling with Banelings and maybe just kill off a little bit more of this army so that the second wave isn't so strong. You can see Morrow constantly sweeping more units across, and once that Thor gets here as well, it's going to be really difficult. So now the Banelings are engaging, but the Mutas aren't here. We need to be engaging with everything at once as the Zerg play here to try and basically swarm over these Marines. Right now, Prospect is attacking with one thing at a time. Okay, and here we go. This looks like a bit of a coordinated attack, but is it a little bit later than he wanted to? Well, it is, but it looks like it's still going to be enough. A couple of those Medevacs are going to go down. A good number of hits from those Banelings. He survives with all of the Mutalisks, and no, he's not going to be building Banelings to replace this, so the base is going to go down. I wonder what would have happened in this game if he was able to get those Baneling hits off a little bit earlier in conjunction with the Mutas, because now this army from Morrow is looking pretty strong indeed. He's up to 186 supply versus 147. That Thor fires more than a warning shot off at those Mutalisks. Behind this as well, we can see Morrow expanding into the middle of the map, looking like he's taking a slow, steady advantage against his Zerg opponent here. Because 3-3 has already started. In the upgrade department, we've got 2-2 versus 2-1. He has got the +1 flyer attack on the Mutalisk, but this bio army is just so strong from Morrow right now, and I love the addition of the single Thor to say, look, mate, if you come at me with Mutas, I'm just going to make sure I can do a maximum amount of damage. These Mutas doing a good job of picking off reinforcements, a good number of Marines getting picked off in the middle of the map, but with that backup Thor there, it's going to make it difficult to take damage cost efficiently. Now we have the back rocks of the natural expansion being taken down. Medevac's moving in as well. Where is the army? The army is here, to its credit, but that Widow Mine is going to be able to do so much damage if it's not careful. And, well, that managed to go through. We need a lot of Banelings right now. A lot of Banelings need to roll through this bio army and need to prevent the Mutas from taking too much damage. They can't move past the Thor right now. A lot of them go off on the Thor, which is not the most cost-effective, but it looks like this force might just about be enough to take out this Terran force. That last Baneling hit was so crucial there. And we do have Prospect picking apart that army from Morrow, but he is still behind by about 30 supply. Now, these reinforcements, well, there's a Thor and 2 Medevacs there as well, in addition to 3 Widow Mines, so Morrow can't just go ahead and roll in if the Widow Mines aren't. Morrow needs to be careful. Can the Mutas pick off the Widow Mines? He doesn't really want to chance it at this point because of those Stim Marines, and we need an awful lot more Zerglings and Banelings behind this as well, but 3-3 is now halfway done. The Mutas are kind of trapped on the high ground right now. They are not in the natural expansion. These Queens are doing as good a job as they can, but they are just 3 units against an awful lot more. We've got Zerglings, but no Banelings, guys, this time around. Okay, here we go. They're moving up from underneath, and we need to see a coordinated attack once again. That Widow Mine is going to do so much damage to the Mutas! Oh, God, that was a fantastic hit there, but luckily the Banelings come in and mop up on the left-hand side. So many of those Mutalisks go down, though, and, well, how many are left on the field? Only 4 right now. So that hurt Prospect an awful lot. This constant aggression isn't going to be enough for Prospect to stay in the game much longer, and Morrow, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be taking game number 1 of this best of 3.